Welcome to the Instagram Stories for Thursday, November 9th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. Did you hear that old theme music? You know what that means. Stick around to the end of the episode. The head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, posted in his broadcast channel a new test alert. He says, "We heard your feedback and have started testing a new feature that lets you turn off read receipts in your DMs. Soon people will be able to choose when to let others see when they've read their messages." And then he includes a sample screenshot which shows read receipts, which can be turned on or off. And it says others can see when you've read their messages, which makes sense. And then there's a little bit more detail about read receipts with respect to vanish mode. It explains vanish mode messages always send read receipts. I think this is an important feature when it comes to safety. There might be a scenario where you're having a conversation with someone and you don't want them to know that you have read their messages yet. So in that case, you absolutely should have the ability to turn read receipts on and off. In other new Instagram feature news, the creators account has highlighted a couple of features that I want to talk about. First, you can now share your favorite comments from feed posts to stories, highlighting your most important interactions with your wider audience. They give a screenshot of what this looks like, which I will share in the show notes. But basically, it explains sometimes all it takes is a single comment to spark an idea or start meaningful conversations with your fans. You can now easily share your favorite comments to stories, highlighting your most important interactions with your wider audience. I like this feature. I'm not sure whether or not I personally would use it, but I think it's a very good option. The creators account also announced broadcast channel prompts. This is something new. A little bit of context, broadcast channels are where you can have one-way communication to reach fans and followers. And now they're introducing prompts, which is a way to get feedback and engage with the people in your broadcast channel directly. You can use prompts to source inspiration for content, discover new music, or understand more about your fans, according to this post in the creators channel. They explain prompt submissions are visible by anybody in the channel, but you can choose which prompts to respond to in your broadcast channel to make a fan feel special or kick off a conversation. The prompts look very similar to the Q&A sticker that's on Instagram Stories, so if you've ever used that before, I think you'll understand this concept pretty quickly. Again, I will link to this post in the show notes. And lastly, Adam Mosseri posted in his broadcast channel that Instagram wouldn't be what it is today without creators building community, inspiring creativity, and being their authentic selves. Instagram just announced the 2023 Creators of Tomorrow, a program that spotlights up-and-coming creators establishing culture and community online. He invites you to join him in celebrating this group over on the @creators account. The main person who I saw in this group, who I really like, is Savannah Moss. I've been watching Savannah Moss's content for probably about 2 years now, so it's a little bit strange to me that she's getting this designation now when she's been creating such great content for so long. But definitely check out who these creators are. It's worth taking a look and seeing if some of your favorites are being highlighted. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear a clip from a new episode of the Instagram Stories podcast. So stick around.
This episode is brought to you by Michigan Economic Development Corporation. In Michigan, you can have both a rewarding career and a quality lifestyle, with plentiful career opportunities in world-changing, innovating industries, from electric vehicles to clean energy to biotech, with room for advancement no matter where you are in your career. Plus, Michigan offers a welcoming, beautiful, affordable, and inclusive community for all. Live your best life. You can in Michigan. Visit themichiganlife.org.
And we're back. If you didn't know, I host a podcast called the Instagram Stories Podcast, which is just like this, but instead of being news focused, I try to interview people who know a lot more about Instagram than I do. Recently, I interviewed Matthew Pierce, who's from Slay.so. Originally, Matthew was from #Slayer, which is a tool that I recommended for a very long time. He took all the best parts of #Slayer and incorporated it in Slay.so, which helps you do a ton of things when it comes to your Instagram posts. Here's a little bit from the episode.
Yeah, so Slay.so is really an evolution of #Slayer. It is that product, just with a whole lot more going on as well. So #Slayer, it was a hashtag research tool, helped you find hashtags and optimize your hashtag strategy. But we were getting a lot of feedback from our customers, and they would say, hey, I'm implementing everything you've taught. I'm using your tools and the hashtags aren't working. And so Danica and I, we would look at what they were doing. We'd take a look at their content, look at their marketing. And it made for a very difficult customer support response when we had to be like, well, the problem is your content. The best hashtags can't save bad content. And so we looked at that and looked at the emerging capabilities of artificial intelligence. And so Slay.so is Hashtag Slayer plus a lot of AI tools that we've built on top of it that connects to your Instagram account. It understands your brand and your business goals, and then helps you come up with content ideas as well as write your captions, and then keyword optimizes them for a keyword Instagram SEO and hashtag strategy.
To hear more about Slay.so, look for the Instagram Stories podcast wherever you get podcasts, but of course you can find it linked in the show notes. I try to make it as easy as possible for you. That is going to do it for today's episode. As always, thank you for listening, and be sure to come back next time for more social media news, strategy, and other things you need to know.
I'm not yet a member of the Instagram team, but my podcast covers many Instagram themes. But the name, image, logos are trademarks of Instagram and the LCC in the USA and every territory. Everything I publish independently until Zuck returns my DMs and starts to pay my salary. Not sponsored or endorsed, no lies, no fallacies. I use their logo with permission, not malicious or callously. No trademark violation, filling all criteria. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Daniel Hill Media.